Fanfiction, Batman Beyond the Cowl, written by R.C. Johnson II. Interior, large apartment complex, day, flashback. Waylon Jones, 7, runs sobbing down the apartment complex to his apartment and hides behind his legal guardian, Tracy, 43. Mother, 35, storms after him furiously.
Look, now I told you about that kid of yours.
Friend, 7, watches distraught and crying from down the hall.
Look what the boy did now! Look at this! Do you see what that little monster did?
Mother reveals the half-eaten carcass of Friend's pet hamster.
I told you too many times, you gotta do something about him. Now I'm gonna have to talk to the manager. I can't have kids around this. Hold up. No, I've given you enough chances. He has to go, one way or another. Look at what he did.
Tracy makes a silent acknowledgement and ushers Waylon inside the apartment, shuts the door, and rests her cigarette on the edge of the ashtray. She clutches Waylon by his upper arms. He continues to sob.
Little boy, do you want to go back up to that place? You can't mess this up for me. You're not worth it. You ate her damn pet? As if I don't feed you enough, you can't even behave. Listen, nobody wants a funny-looking thing like you. I'm all you got, and you're about to mess that up. Hell, you probably have rabies.
Tracy sits on her couch and takes her cigarette with her. She picks up her cell phone and makes a call. Interior, exterior, gala at exquisite hotel. Wealthy and influential people of Gotham exit their cars from the ballet. Bruce Wayne, 28 to 35, exits an elevator. Live jazz is blaring from a quintet covering intermission riff. Hors d'oeuvres are passed atop medium-sized round trays by tuxedoed servers with white gloves. Wine glasses and champagne flutes abound, with several of the rich, famous and elegant in attendance. Sebastian Hady from Mayor banners adorn each wall.
Thank you so much for coming. The air, the energy in this room is so electric. The champagne is fantastic and everything is first class. In fact, this is why I'm running. To restore the class and glory to Gotham. Far too long we've been allowing ourselves to grow lax. We've shunned innovation and watched our contemporaries progress. Our streets are riddled with drug addiction and deviance. Our infrastructure dilapidated and decayed. With your help, and your most generous donations,
Crowd laughs.
we're going to make Gotham the city of endless possibilities. We will root out every strain of criminal activity with tougher policing.
A journalist spots a famous Gothamite in attendance.
Bruce Wayne, I never knew you to take much interest in politics. What strikes you about Hady?
Politics, I can't really tell you. But something has struck me and piqued my interest. If you'll excuse me.
Bruce approaches an attractive woman, 29, from across the room.
There's a Chris Rock joke that says that people looking to make an impression only show their representative at first.
The attractive woman, Candace Collins, looks up at Bruce.
I say, why not just air all of your flaws up front and spare your audience the time? I'm Bruce Wayne, by the way.
Bruce Wayne? Is that a flaw or just your name?
Possibly both. In terms of being representative, I'd find it easy to overlook whatever misperceived deficiencies you may have. Your representation is impeccable.
Oh, it is?
Indeed, it is. In fact, if you were on the ballot, I'd vote for you twice.
Candace smiles up at Bruce.
Is that so? Well, that's voter fraud. And I'm sure Bruce Wayne has cast ballots all over Gotham.
I've been deluded by unsuitable candidates in the past, but I'm looking to move forward. Can you tell me the name I'll be writing in for my preferred candidate?
I'm not in the running, but I will need your advice. My deficiency? I can smell a womanizer from a mile away.
Candace makes for an exit. Bruce walks back to the reporter, waving off a wine glass offer from the server.
Who was that?
Who? Candace? She's something, huh?
Candace. Candace what?
Collins. Candace Collins. She does some good work for a few charitable organizations. I'm sure she's here by obligation. She's probably going to vote for the other guy.
Hady's wrapping up his address to the attendees.
Gotham's been good to me, and once I'm elected, it will be good to more people. My 5-point revitalization plan will provide the safe, healthy, and prosperous Gotham that every resident deserves.
Roaring applause from the crowd.
Cutting-edge innovation, safe streets, first-rate schools, business expansion in communities that need it most, We will bring Gotham from the brink to the pinnacle of civilization, right where we belong.
Greater applause from attendees. The band starts up a rendition of Henry Mancini's Swing Lightly, cameras flash. Sebastian heads to the backdrop wall for photo ops with guests. Press swiftly approach for interviews and more sound bites.
Mr. Hady! Mr. Hady! Your detractors claim that more broken window policing will further exacerbate the weakened social fabric in Gotham. How would you respond?
Safety is a paramount concern that we can't afford to compromise on. Miscreants have overrun this town to the point where a man celebrates Halloween every night to try to stop it. Ask my opponents if they're ready to get mugged by some fentanyl junkie heading home from work. Gotham's weary of the menace that plagues our streets. I'm the only one who's willing to take the necessary actions.
Mr. Hady! Mr. Hady!
Mr. Hady.
Sebastian heads for the exit. He notices Bruce Wayne and stops.
Bruce, I'm hoping I can count on your support. Let's pick up lunch at my office and I could show you my redevelopment plan for the North End.
Let's. I can see you're in high demand here. We'll catch up later.
Bruce Wayne feels his phone vibrating in his blazer's inside pocket. It's Alfred. He answers.
Master Bruce, will your gallantries be concluding soon? There's some activity transpiring worthy of your attention.
Yeah. He's given his speech and vanished already. About time for me to follow suit.
Intercut, Gotham City rooftop, Batcave, night. The cold looms thick over Gotham City night air. A layer of mist sweeps across the skyline of tightly packed buildings. Batman stands in the shadows of a rooftop. The lights of Gotham's high-rise buildings loom deep in the distance.
If these are the guys, I'll wait for a clear visual of the exchange first. I've got to move.
I believe they are. It's the same van we've been tracking from the last transaction, but someone's changed the plates. You'd think folks would just go to the doctor to obtain a vial of habit-forming painkillers, like they did when I was a lad.
There's plenty of the usual goons here, some armed. This has to be one of the largest dealers in the city.
Batman places lenses on that record a visual feed to the Batcave computer. Alfred looks at the screen intently as Batman's visual begins to stream at home. The industrial area is largely deserted, save for the parties identified. Doors open to permit vehicular entry. A second transport vehicle arrives on scene for exchange with more goons. It follows the first inside. Batman loses visual as parties enter a dimly lit facility. He removes the lenses and zip lines to the top of the active building. He leaps off the back side of the building and heads to a door opposite the garage doors where the vehicles enter. Exterior-interior warehouse continuous. He picks the lock and creeps in to retain stealth, only moving through the darkest parts of the large, scarcely lit area. As he gets within range, he uses a push-button sonic device that disorients the parties exchanging goods. Without pause, he tosses firearm disablers onto each visible gun held by the goons. Hand-to-hand combat commences. The driver of the second van accelerates away in reverse, crashing through the aluminum garage door. Batman strikes the first goon with a step-in left hook kick across the jaw, staggering him. He pivots clockwise to his left as goon number 2 rushes with a barrage of punches. Batman blocks them in a backpedal and grabs the assailant by the lapel, turns him 180 degrees and slams him into the van. He alters his grip to a tie clinch and then launches a debilitating knee strike to the villain's solar plexus, causing him to collapse and gasp for air. 2 more assailants remain. The first attacker rushes in for a takedown. Batman sinks down to repel it, but the attacker retains a tight grip on his leg. The second attacker launches a dropkick at Batman's torso, which jars him loose from the grip on his leg. He uses the kick's force to roll backward away from both and lands in his fight stance. He throws a grappling batarang at attacker number 1, reels him into a knockout flying punch. The last attacker leaps at Batman with a flying axe kick and throws a 1-2 punch combination. Batman blocks all 3 and circles away. The goon throws a rapid succession of kicks, all checked and blocked by Batman. A low right roundhouse, a low to high left roundhouse. The goon then fires a right front kick, which Batman sidesteps and catches in his right hand. He immediately swoops the goon's other leg on the ground. The attacker rolls away and pops up, ready to continue. Batman leaps into a left tornado kick to his opponent's jaw, causing him to stiffen and fall like a chopped tree. The first goon returns and runs smack into a spinning elbow, finishing him off for the night. Now that the goons are down and out, Batman places his lenses on to produce the feed for Alfred. He opens the rear doors of the cargo van to find the product. He finds a large titanium cooler, partly ajar, with a dense layer of water vapor emanating from it. As he opens it, he finds no opiates, but sealed human organs tightly packed and labeled, kidneys, livers, and lungs, containing info on the age and blood type of their donors.
Alfred, are we getting this?
Just when you think you've seen it all. Shall I connect you with the Commissioner?
Call them anonymously. I'll wrap these guys up for the GCPD lockup.
Exterior Gotham City streets continuous. Batman summons the Batmobile and rides off under the night sky. Gotham PD arrives on the scene.
He got him again. Wait a sec. You're gonna want to take a look at this. Kyle Gordon, too.
What the comish? Something else in Gotham for us to worry about?
Well, they left it here for us to investigate it. Let's wrap it up along with these bozos and... Hey, what's this?
He reaches for a smallish metallic object in the van near the container. He looks at it intently while tossing up and down lightly in his hand. Interior. Onward, upward. A 403B corporation. Day.
Candace, there's a donor here to see you. He insists.
Candace nods reluctantly.
Summon through.
Bruce Wayne struts in with a floral arrangement.
Miss Collins, perhaps I gave you the wrong impression the other night. Exactly the opposite of what I wanted to convey.
Patrice!
Oh, of course. Pardon me for getting ahead of myself.
Bruce hands her a check donation made payable to the organization. $50,000.
You know, my old man used to have a foundation.
He looks around the room and sees posters touting various groups served, at-risk youth, veterans, homeless, etc.
Truly commendable. I'm always impressed when the interior matches the exterior.
Candace begins to soften.
Thank you, Mr. Wayne. Now, I'm sure you have some important business to tend to. As do I.
Listen, I know how this might all look, but I'd like to invite you to dinner. No pressure, just a friendly, amicable dinner.
A romantic dinner, I presume?
Hey, my cards are on the table. It's your move now. Italian?
Candace grins, shakes her head.
French?
Shakes head.
Greek?
Candace shakes her head.
Indian?
She shakes her head again.
Thai?
Sure.
Aha! Thai. Everybody loves pad see-ew. But I do need your number.
I have yours now. From the donor form. I'll text you.
That's not the right number for you.
No?
Will you allow me?
Bruce extends his hand, gesturing for Candace's phone. She obliges. He sends a text to himself from her phone that reads, Candace. Interior, Wayne Manor, day. Television is on and Alfred is watching the news while handling some cleaning duties. Jimmy, the rent is too damn high, McMillan, is a guest panelist giving his insight into socioeconomic woes in Gotham.
Rents in Greater Gotham have risen an annualized 8% for the last 4 years. How in the hell is anyone supposed to survive? And for what? Crime is high, unemployment is high, hell, half the city's high. There's no place for an honest, able-bodied man to swing a hammer or turn a wrench anymore. You can't survive and provide for a family, buy a house in this gig economy, and you've got these real estate developers coming in and renaming neighborhoods, putting condos in next to these tech giants, pricing all of the real Gothamites out. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Jack, the rent is too damn high.
Bruce walks in and changes the channel to the local news. Headline speaks of retail crime wave.
Shoplifting? Not quite. Gotham police report that retail theft and burglary are up 42% in the last 3 months.
Alfred removes some cleaning items from a paper bag.
Success, Master Wayne.
Thai. She likes Thai food.
Oh? Full court press on this one or half court trap?
Hail Mary is more like it.
Bruce looks down and away.
I'm sure whatever game you decide you're going to play, you'll win, as usual. How many can resist that $1 billion smile?
Bruce chuckles.
Hopefully you'll find someone who'll make you quit playing altogether. God forbid you'll see a young lady as something more than a ruse.
Bruce turns to the computer.
Any hits on that other vehicle?
No, sir. Not yet, I'm afraid.
Not much surprise there, seeing that the plates weren't valid.
Some degree of trickery is being employed, undoubtedly. We'll be on the lookout, but they might be laying low after an intrusion from the Caped Crusader.
Only for so long. Those people don't quit until they're made to.
Exterior Gotham City streets, night. An unidentifiable group of masked criminals break into a string of storefront businesses. The group hits a liquor store along the path and steals a variety of cheap goods, triggers an alarm. There's an ATM inside that they penetrate and take cash from. A Gotham PD squad car drives by and stops, being alerted by the untimely entrance, sloppy behavior, and disheveled appearance from the store. The two officers enter cautiously with hands ready to pull their sidearms. A large masked goon appears suddenly from behind the counter and throws one officer through a window. The second officer fires his taser. It lands, but is of no effect. He reaches for his gun, and the goon closes on him almost instantly, pulls him into a bear hug and headbutts him repeatedly, knocking him unconscious. The small group exits the store unaffected into the night. However, a small metallic object resembling the one found previously by Commissioner Gordon is left on the floor amidst the disorder of the mini-market. Exterior, Gotham City streets. Bruce Wayne drives to Wayne Corps, day. Bruce Wayne passes a series of boarded-up buildings, transients, and protesters on an overcast morning while listening to Charles Mingus' Goodbye Pork Pie Hat. An intense march against economic inequality is taking place with Gotham PD closely watching nearby. Sebastian Hady for mayor bills are posted on walls and street lamp posts. Many of them are defaced. Protesters are on the verge of clashing with police. The standoff is incredibly tense, with shouting and chanting escalating. Cut to interior, Wayne Corps boardroom, day. A presentation file is loaded on a large monitor on the large end of the room. Cactus Incorporation's logo with Vietnamese name is displayed. Wayne Corps executives are seated around a medium-sized rectangular table.
What makes Cactus such an attractive acquisition target is that it allows us to slash the cost of our production chain by an estimated 73%.
But what about efficiency? How long will it take for us to integrate their systems? What about tax translation?
The tech part is simple. We can have IT implement a version of what we use here and have it ready by the time the transaction is complete. We expand their existing facilities so we can continue to produce their inventory, and we'll provide our designs and have them assemble ours. We'll need to act fast, otherwise LexCorp or Stay might beat us to it.
Bruce, what's your take?
In the spirit of competition, it looks like our best move. We can't afford to get complacent in this space as the demand continues to expand.
Well, let's keep quiet on this and make our move quickly. As we all know too well, change happens rapidly in the midst of corporate crisis.
Have we priced in building a manufacturing plant here in Gotham? Vietnam's a long way away. I'm not saying we don't make this move for the assets that we can benefit from that Cactus has, but why not handle more of the process locally?
The room looks annoyed and hesitant to respond.
At least establish a baseline.
It will obviously be cost prohibitive.
Why not? Let's do it. Knowledge is power.
An exercise in futility, if I've ever heard of it.
Right. How much will that slow this down?
Let us all remember that haste makes waste.
Bruce speed dials admin on a landline conference phone in the middle of the table on speakerphone.
Sorry, can we get a comparison on a local unit in place of the Cactus acquisition? Thanks.
Exterior, Gotham City suburb, night. A group of masked men break into a remote, dimly lit facility. One has a Circle A symbol on his jacket. The sterile-looking building is medical in nature. It's a pharma lab. Pinnacle Manufacturing branding is present throughout. They burn their way through each barrier with a handheld device. The group hurries while keeping quiet. They load explosive charges on various strategic locations. Timers are set and synchronized. 6. The group scatters outside and run off to an old foreign sedan. They speed off. Kaboom! The building erupts and collapses into rubble. Gotham PD and FD arrive for the aftermath. Interior, Wayne Manor, dusk. A toweled Bruce Wayne exits the shower and heads to the kitchen. Alfred is standing at the kitchen counter, preparing a shake for Bruce in a blender. His laptop is open to the news webpage. Bruce interrupts Alfred's efforts and adds matcha powder, branched chain amino acids, and MCT oil into the blender.
I take it you've heard of last night's terrorist attack at Pinnacle.
I did. Competition amongst cartels, I'm assuming.
Have you followed this at all?
Alfred turns his laptop to expose it to Bruce. It's a web article on the retail burglary wave. Bruce takes a cursory glance.
Can't say that I have.
Bruce turns the obnoxiously loud blender on.
Perhaps our friend should keep an eye out. But wait, you're running a Hail Mary tonight, correct?
May not need the desperation play after all. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I made reservations at Chef McDang's new spot. Very exclusive. I think she'll love it.
You must like this one, I take it.
Alfred, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Alfred rolls his eyes. Bruce takes a sip directly from the blender.
Priorities, priorities. A girl you're pretending not to like in a crime spree that doesn't interest you. Maybe it's my time to suit up.
My focus was on the opioids flooding the streets. Now it's murder, organ trafficking. Teenagers stealing sneakers and cell phones will have to wait.
Cut to Bruce getting dressed. Interior, Wayne Manor, Bruce's bedroom, minutes later. Bruce turns on Billie Holiday's All of Me on his home speaker system via the cell phone and walks to his bedroom. He puts on dress slacks, a crisp white shirt, and begins to put cufflinks on his wrist collars. His gaze crosses a photo of a wedding photo of his parents, stares at it. He locks into their wide, radiant smiles and glee. He hears his phone notification sound. He grabs his phone to check it. It's a text from Candace. Need to cancel tonight, sorry. His face manifests mild disappointment, but not surprise. Alfred appears in the doorway.
Hail Mary, Master Wayne.
Cut to interior, Candace's apartment, simultaneous. Anita Baker's Angel blares from the Bluetooth stereo. Candace walks briskly around a pair of bar stools to get to the stovetop in her open-concept kitchen. Spaghetti is cooking on a large pot. Her roommate, Mira, 31, is also at home.
Well, what did he say?
I haven't looked.
He can't be used to that.
Candace shrugs, continues to stir her pot.
I don't get it. What did he do?
I don't know. He just gives me this vibe. The same kind every guy who's got a scandalous secret does. Plus, he's a billionaire. What could we possibly have in common? Besides, can you imagine what he does every day? Probably hangs out in country clubs all day.
Quick cut to Intercut, Candace's apartment / Batcave. Continuous. Bruce begins to suit up as Batman.
No, seriously, he probably has a harem of girls on call ready to reenact some 50 Shades nonsense.
Bruce puts on the cowl. Mira and Candace laugh hysterically. Exterior, Gotham rooftop, night. Batman sits perched on the corner of a tall building, awaiting for irregular activity to pounce upon, the chilling vapor of Gotham encircling him. Meanwhile, shining across the skyline, the bat signal. Cut to exterior, Gotham PD rooftop, night. Commissioner Gordon stands next to the large projector in his customary trench coat. He turns as Batman arrives.
You know all this stuff's related. All of it. Opioids, burglaries, human trafficking, stolen body parts.
Explain.
Well, those guys you took out of the warehouse last week, they left a shiny gadget in the back of a van. A squad car sees some thieves in a mini-mart a few days ago. Responds, get pummeled by some roided-up brute, and we find another one of these things.
Gordon holds up the device for Batman.
What is it?
At first we thought it was some kind of medical equipment, like something you'd see in a lab or a doctor's office. Turns out it's a handheld mini laser. Only it's powerful enough to cut through 2 inches of steel in a matter of seconds.
Military connections. A device with that much power in so small a package isn't supposed to exist yet.
Huh? Exactly. 2 of those guys you busted served, but not in any high capacity. Surely not high enough to have access to next wave tech like this. And of course, they don't know anything.
Gordon starts to pace and look around.
They have to know. Forensics?
Nothing on the first. We're still waiting on results from the last incident. The lab is inundated from here to back to Metropolis with orders.
Whoever it is selling organs on the black market. Maybe a foreign buyer. No matter what, we've got to stop them.
It still doesn't add up to me. Why would guys selling kidneys and livers, for a nice slice most likely, knock over liquor stores and mom and pop shops?
Gordon gets a call on his cell phone. He makes a quarter turn away from Batman.
The damn plaza, right now?
Batman disappears into the Gotham night. Gordon looks startled initially and then shrugs it off as typical Batman. Cut 2. Intercut. Alfred on Terminal and Batcave / Batman, Gotham City streets, night.
On your way to the plaza, sir?
Batman stands atop a rooftop.
I'll get these guys and question them myself.
Batman cape glides from the roof directly into the cockpit of a moving Batmobile. He races down the streets, twisting and turning around corners on a torrid pace to intercept the crime in progress. 2 squad cars sit at the front entrance of a mall awaiting backup. Batman ejects from the retracted roof of the Batmobile in a vertical ascent. He redirects himself to the apex of his propulsion and crashes foot first through the mall's glass sunroof above the 2nd level. Alarms are going off in multiple stores, and not a soul is visible. Cautiously and quickly, Batman creeps to the closest store with the alarm buzzing. A would-be masked assailant leaps out from behind a clothes rack and swings a tire iron from overhead. Batman evades by quickly stepping back and counters with a spinning hook kick, sending him crashing through the clothes rack. He looks back and forth. No one else is in the store. 2 more run out from the 2nd store and are startled by Batman's presence. One draws a hunting knife. Batman throws a batarang, which the attacker swats away. He swings and slashes fast and wildly at Batman. He attacks with a downward stroke, which Batman intercepts near the top of the movement with a double wrist grab. He rotates the blade down and away. As the 2 struggle for control, Batman pushes the handle of the blade back up to the wielder's chest and takes him down with a left foot sweep, and follows the downward momentum with a right knee drop to the face. The 2nd masked man tries to run after seeing his counterpart get disposed of, and drops his container of stolen merchandise in the process. Batman catches him with a parabola around his ankles and trips him up. He furiously tries to wiggle out, but not before Batman walks him down and knocks him out cold with a punch. More thieves remain. They have now begun to run for an exit off the far end of the mall. Police rush in from mall entrances on opposite sides of the plaza with guns and flashlights paired for action. The last set of thieves have seemingly vanished. Batman uses his grappling hook to exit through the roof. From atop the mall, Batman looks around feverishly to locate the criminals. They are again nowhere to be found. Police surround both exits tactically with weapons drawn. Batman cape glides down to the Batmobile on an unpatrolled corner of the mall. Interior, New Jerusalem Missionary Baptist Church, day. The choir sings a stirring rendition of Donald Lawrence's There's a King for You at a packed Sunday morning church service. Candace is seated near the front on a long pew of the mid-sized church.
Well, praise the Lord and saints.
The church responds bountifully with a chorus of clapping and repeating of the minister's phrase.
Well, amen and amen. At this time, we'd like to welcome all of our visitors. If there are any first-time visitors, would you please stand? No, you don't want to embarrass you. We want to extend our greetings to you in the name of the Lord.
All heads turn to a standing Bruce Wayne in the middle row pew, grinning sheepishly and standing out in stark contrast from the rest of the congregation. Candace notices his presence, and the 2 make eye contact and smile, almost to the point of laughter. A staff member of the church walks to Bruce and quietly hands him a small pack of materials and shakes his hand with a smile. Bruce and Candace maintain eye contact and chuckle.
Amen, amen. Now, I know everyone's got things going on later, so it won't be before you long this Sunday morning. I just want to talk to you for a bit about a young man who faced his giants. If you can, please open up to 1 Samuel chapter 17.
Cut to Interior Gastropub Day. Candace and Bruce get lunch after church at a 50s-themed burger joint nearby. Loaded cheeseburgers and fries are plated in front of them at their booth alongside a window at the back of the restaurant.
I'm still shocked you showed up to my church. I mean, it is a little...
Stalkerish?
Candace playfully shrugs in agreement.
Hey, we CEOs find a need for inspiration too. Is that shocking?
No. What's shocking is that you had the audacity to come find it at my church. And jokes aside, I know why you came.
I came to hear the minister speak. Wow, what a great message. You should teach a class on oratory at Gotham U. Seriously. And the choir, fantastic.
Okay, Bruce, when was the last time you've been to a church?
It's been a while since I've been to a mass.
Okay.
A waitress walks by and refills their water.
Besides, I went to the one today that had exactly what I was looking for, Candace. I had to get your attention somehow.
Can't lie, it was funny seeing you there today. Totally unexpected. So tell me, Bruce, Mr. CEO, what's that like? I mean, you probably have everything you want.
Mr. CEO, huh? No, that's not who I am at all. I mean, I am a CEO, but that isn't what defines me. I'm just a guy trying to make some things happen, other things not happen.
Bruce looks off to the side and back.
I think there are things that are fundamental to the human experience that transcend money, status, class, all that stuff. You learn pretty quickly that it takes a lot more than that to be happy. What about you, Miss Collins?
There's a lot that I want, and I know that it's lofty, ambitious, but that's what it is. I don't want my time to be wasted. I give a lot. My life's work is literally trying to save people, and I hope to find someone who wants to give to me at the same level I give.
Can it be that hard? You must have guys standing in line for that position. I'd imagine.
Imagine a line of less than savory candidates.
A teenager walks by outside with a litter of consumer electronics in a grocery cart that he's trying to sell. Bruce's eyes divert to him. Candace's eyes follow.
Hey, I know that kid. That's Sean. Oh Lord, I don't even want to know how he got those. So Bruce, what do you do from day to day? You're big time CEO and you look to be mighty fit. And you're backing Hady for mayor, right?
Fit? You noticed. You know, I get invited to all sorts of things like that, and I usually don't put much stock into them. I feel like the whole process is broken sometimes.
Really? Continue.
Gotham's seen its share of false promises. At really every level. Nothing ever seems to happen.
Candace breaks her posture and produces a reactionary smile.
Wow.
What?
That's just not what I was expecting.
From me? You put me in a box.
Hey, I'm not one to do that. It's just that you're, well, you.
That's somewhat of a misconception. I am a little different than most.
That's fine. I like it.
And I like you. You're gorgeous, Candace. And I think you're different, too. Good different.
So, you didn't answer my question. What do you do every day?
Me? Mostly spend my time chasing ghosts and rumors.
Bruce looks off and quickly snaps back into focus.
But look at us. We're here eating burgers. You probably don't even like Thai food, do you?
I do. It's not my favorite, though. I find few things more satisfying than a good old-fashioned cheeseburger with bacon.
Bacon, huh? It is pretty tasty.
Yeah. What, no bacon at your 5-star restaurants?
Couldn't tell you the last time I've had a standalone strip of bacon.
Candace straightens her posture a bit.
Who are you, Bruce Wayne?
What do you mean?
What is it that you want?
Bruce stares off and has to snap himself back into focus because he doesn't have a defined answer.
World peace? Happiness? I don't know. The same thing everybody wants.
So, what's holding you back, mister?
There's something missing.
Missing? What are you, a Wizard of Oz sidekick?
That I am familiar with. There's always that quest of trying to do more, to be more. The hope that there's something more rewarding out there.
Candace takes a small bite of food.
See, that's one thing about my job. Helping people is its own reward.
Sure, but what else, Candace? What's next? What's beyond the bacon cheeseburger?
The two laugh.
Hey, the burger will always have its place. It may not be all fancy, but it's satisfying. And I hope that's what I can give and what I can get.
I never thought I'd be comparing myself to ground beef, but...
Don't worry, I won't bite.
I was hoping you did.
You are a mess, Bruce Wayne.
I'm whatever I'm needed to be, Candace.
The two smile at each other. Bruce's vision darts outside again. Exterior, outside the diner, next day. A casually dressed Bruce Wayne posts inconspicuously close to the diner where he noticed Sean, the teenager attempting to sell stolen goods earlier. Bruce, clad in a Gotham Knights hoodie, jeans, hat, and shades, watches street and pedestrian traffic hoping to spot the kid. He eventually tracks someone who looks like him but realizes it isn't Sean after he crosses his face. A Gotham PD squad car passes by and takes a slow, suspicious look at Bruce but proceeds without stopping. A few groups of people walk by distributing flyers of protest with Sebastian Hady's portrait inside of a red "No" symbol on them. They approach Bruce.
You want to take a stand against Hady and the corporate interests that back him?
Okay? Sure.
Ah, good man, that's what we like to hear. We need more people like you. Here's some information and here's some extra flyers about the event we're doing to try to get the truth out this week. Tell your family, tell your friends.
Got it.
The protesters walk away and look for more people to solicit. Bruce continues to wait for a few moments, but grows weary of waiting and losing confidence in the endeavor. As he starts to walk to return home, he locates Sean walking a block down the street. He begins to give chase at a normal speed. Sean continues to walk, making his routine seemingly unaware of his tail. He turns down a few streets. Bruce loses his visual on him momentarily as he tries to remain undetected. As Bruce reaches Sean's last turn, he seems to vanish as he turns down a dead-end alley between two buildings. Confusion and frustration grip Bruce, who is now forced to quit the chase. Interior, Gotham University, main auditorium night. A debate moderator, female, 40s, stands opposite our two mayoral candidates on the spotlight, Sebastian and Jerry. A crowd of students and faculty sit behind her as spectators.
Gotham can't sit back and wait any longer. Candidate after candidate of corruption and broken promises have pilfered the city's people and broken the bonds of trust. I am the only person with the wherewithal to construct an actionable plan to bring Gotham back.
My opponent seems to believe things become true if you keep repeating them. I, on the other hand, understand the city better than anyone. I've been here serving, doing the work on the ground throughout our triumphs and failures. We're going to make a Gotham that works for everyone, not just for people in Hady's tax bracket.
I'll tell you what, after I'm elected, my policies are going to get a lot more of Gotham into my bracket. And that is not to make light of Jerry's service. I understand success and bring an expertise that Gotham desperately needs.
Sebastian, you bring an expertise in private prisons. That is not what Gotham needs. Another special interest politician. I find it to be of no coincidence that a candidate who's amassed his wealth through incarceration wants to have tougher sentencing laws and lacks oversight over our police.
I'll remind everyone here that my principal enterprise as a private citizen is in real estate. Which brings me back to my point. My expertise, yes, expertise, will bring businesses back into Gotham. Double-digit unemployment is a travesty. As well-meaning as you may be, Jerry, you haven't a clue how to run a business, nor how to address the intractable problem that pervades the city. Otherwise, you would have done it already.
I have a real revitalization plan that will stimulate growth organically, not by leasing Gotham out on the cheap to the VCs or who count much of our city as a tear down and rebuild project. This is Gotham, and the people of Gotham won't stand for it.
I'm here to move Gotham forward. We can't do that without bringing business back to Gotham. And we can't do that without empowering our law enforcement agencies to do their finest work. We cannot compromise on safety. Jerry, this I will repeat. Maybe after I'm elected, you'll understand.
I will agree with you on this, Sebastian. Gotham desperately needs a bold, ambitious plan to get things back on track. What I propose, improvement-based performance incentives for public school teachers in our toughest districts, public-private urban farming initiatives, more affordable housing for those who need it, and a higher minimum wage to support hard-working families struggling to get by.
Gentlemen, that concludes our time for the evening. The City of Gotham would like to thank the University of Gotham for hosting our debate. People of Gotham, the choice is yours.
Cut 2, Interior, Wayne Manor night. Alfred watches the televised debate from a large monitor. Bruce is nearby and seemingly preoccupied with other things.
Two candidates that couldn't be further apart. Have you met with candidate Hady yet? Bruce?
Yeah. I mean, no, I haven't yet. I'm sure he just wants a donation and took my support. I really don't have the time.
Most certainly. But perhaps what you are thinking about is the influence you might be able to have on him, if he's elected, that is.
Does he have your vote, Alfred?
No, Master Wayne, he doesn't.
And why should I even bother?
If pundits are correct, my vote might not be enough to sway the outcome. He's heavily favored. He's out-fundraised DeSoto by a 10-to-1 margin.
That might make it even more difficult to have any impact.
It will, but it will also make it more necessary. He also might be more forthcoming in private.
Bruce looks away contemplatively. Interior, Wayne Court. Bruce's office, day. Bruce dials his admin for an update on the production facility analysis. He's seated at his desk.
How are we doing on the CBA comparison?
We should have it by the end of the week. Mr. Wayne, your 11 o'clock is here.
Direct him to my office.
We're on our way.
Interior, Wayne Court, Bruce's office, seconds later. In walks
Bruce, nice office.
Thank you, Sebastian. Glad you were able to accommodate me on the location change.
Glad to finally be here. I appreciate the opportunity. Listen, I know you're a busy man. I'm not going to waste too much of your time. What do you think of a Gotham with 100 Wayne Court?
Sebastian takes a seat and leans towards Bruce.
What I mean is Silicon Valley and Gotham. The industries of tomorrow right here. We squeeze the crime right out of Gotham with increased property values and aggressive policing. Turn over our worst neighborhoods, and in 5 years, boom, we're back as the premier city in the Western Hemisphere.
Progress. I like it.
At this point, our campaign has gone exceedingly well. Don't tell my campaign manager, but we don't really need any more money. However, a ringing endorsement from basically Gotham royalty won't just cement the race for me, it might just get me to the White House. Someday.
Well, it sounds like all upside. How do you propose we increase property values? Market forces are at work. We've actually had depopulation over the last decade.
Sebastian stands and begins to pace in a circle.
Asset forfeiture. These guys get out of line and get popped with guns and drugs. Their property then belongs to us. With all of the crime in certain parts of town, we'll have every developer from here to Coast City chomping at the bit over the inventory we'll acquire.
Sounds like eminent domain. You don't actually believe that every resident in the North End is a criminal, do you? What happens to them?
Look, Bruce, statistically, we all know the overwhelming majority of criminals come from the North End. Far too many of them. It's almost inevitable. Now, I'm not saying we have to forcibly remove every honest person there. Those market forces will just eventually price the remnant out.
Bruce listens on silently. Sebastian waits for a response. Leans in.
A place with an area called Crime Alley shouldn't exist.
Bruce almost reacts to the Crime Alley reference, but denies Hady the satisfaction.
Truly, I'm not so certain that the North End is quite as bad as you say.
You're a Wayne. That means something. You have a lineage, a stock. If there were 100 Waynes there, the neighborhood would change overnight. There's only two ways to treat a cancer, Bruce. You kill it or remove it.
Sebastian, I think we can both agree that crime is a very serious problem in Gotham.
Can I count on you, Bruce? A handful of nice photos, a recorded statement, it should suffice.
Bruce stares blankly away from Sebastian, who waits for his response. Interior, Batcave, night. Bruce toils away at the Batcave computer. Alfred accompanies him.
There's something amiss here, Alfred. None of the guys I took down had any verifiable residences, no utilities, or minor financial responsibilities.
That doesn't sound too strange to me. Perhaps they live in an abandoned commercial facility, the couch of a significant other, a grandmother's basement.
Those guys at least have a cell phone. And a couple of the guys were veterans.
I see.
Bruce continues to analyze the locations of the crimes. He overlays them on an interactive map on his monitor.
There's a kid that I was tracking a few days ago. I lost him right around here.
Bruce points to the approximate location for Alfred's visual benefit. Alfred leans in and looks closely. Bruce zooms in on the area.
What's there? Building entrance? Another alley?
No. Alfred, it's the sewer. They're taking the sewer.
Bruce zooms back out and back into the crime locations.
They're all within 100 feet of an entrance.
The literal underworld. I can't say that I'm shocked, really. Are you going?
I have to. Those guys mauled a couple of officers last week and they're connected with the body parts we intercepted.
You'll be limited, and there's no way for us to know what you might encounter down there. Can we wait and surveil a bit?
I don't want to wait on this. There's something especially sinister about this.
Cut 2. Exterior, Batman driving the Batmobile in Gotham streets. Night. Batman drives to sewer entrance where Sean vanished. He creeps through circumspectly. Hypervigilant in anticipation of attackers, Batman traverses the sewer passageways. He's spotted by someone in the shadows who scurries away. Quickly, another occupant appears with bad intentions. He approaches Batman in an offensive posture with a medium-length stick. He swings the stick at Batman, who blocks it with an inside forearm block, causing the wooden stick to splinter on his right gauntlet. A second attacker approaches from Batman's 2 o'clock position with a right cross, which Batman parries away and follows with a push kick that knocks the man back several feet. The first attacker stutter steps and advances again with a left jab. Batman counters with a right uppercut and left roundhouse kick to the head, folding him like paper. The second attacker grabs Batman around the waist from behind. Batman pushes the assailant's clasped hands down and leans backward at the shoulder to break the grip. He spins around quickly and throws a left jab, right cross, left hook punching combination, finishing him off for the night. Voices yell and alert others of Batman's presence. He continues down the tunnel, walking fast and with purpose. 3 more thugs show, ready for combat. Batman maintains distance and tries to anticipate an attack, with both sides flinching and trying not to overreact in a broken dance of violence. The middle goon throws a straight right, and the 2 flanking him throw successive punches of their own, without pause. Batman parries them all and circles away counterclockwise. The 3 are now stacked behind one another. Batman delivers a stepping turnback kick and toppling the recipient into the man behind him. The goon, now coming around the other 2 from the rear, charges at Batman for a takedown. Batman sidesteps and pushes him headfirst into the wall. The last thug is met with a hard lead right hand that stuns him. He buckles and staggers backward into the wall and slides down to the ground where he sits holding his bloodied nose. A woman runs out with a 2x4 and swings at Batman. Batman catches it with a 2-hander undergrip and swings her into another would-be assailant, and the 2 tumble to the ground. A guttural voice bursts out from the distance. It's a massive and menacing, scaly-skinned man.
Get out of the way. I got this.
Killer Croc motions the others aside and walks toward Batman. Batman hits him square in the jaw with a right cross. No result. Batman steps back and throws a roundhouse kick at Croc's leg. No result again. Batman gears up and throws a roundhouse kick at Croc's torso. Croc catches it under his left arm and grabs Batman around the throat, turns and throws him against the wall like a rag doll. Croc follows with a push kick. Batman evades just in the nick of time. Batman regroups and launches a step-in sidekick, which pushes Croc back several feet, but, like the prior strikes, without visible damage. An enraged Croc charges at Batman and grabs him in a bear hug. Batman scrapes Croc's face with his gauntlets and all of his might. He thumbs his eye, which eventually causes the grip to break. Croc staggers a bit and wipes his eyes. Batman throws a switch roundhouse kick to Croc's head, but again, no damage is inflicted. Croc grabs Batman's wrist and pulls him into a headlock. Batman struggles to get out. Croc tosses Batman like a frisbee. Batman gets up, wobbled and frayed. Croc closes in on him quickly and delivers a crunching haymaker to Batman's face, rendering him temporarily unconscious. Batman suddenly regains presence on impact of his fall and drops a smoke bomb. He barely escapes. Interior, Wayne Manor, Bruce's bedroom, next day. Bruce awakens to the sound of his cell phone chiming incessantly. He reaches for it and sees 3 missed calls and 4 texts from Candace. Bruce struggles out of bed with a partially blackened eye from the previous night's battle and proceeds to meet Candace. Cut 2. Exterior, Bruce and Candace at patio brunch day. A band covers the emotions, Don't Ask My Neighbor, for an ultra-hip urban crowd lounging with mixed drinks and tapas plates. Candace is seated at a table waiting on Bruce. Bruce walks in and sits at their table.
You okay? What's with the shades? Trying to be inconspicuous?
Not a fan of Cartier?
Are you hungover? OMG, you've got a hangover.
Can a man not wear shades at brunch? Besides, I have restraint, despite what my urges may compel.
Disbelief is visibly present on Candace's face.
Whatever. I'm here, you're here. Let's just try to make the most of it.
Fine with me, I'm starved.
Bruce holds up the menu.
This place seems to have a cool vibe, good music. What do you drink?
I don't, really.
That's noble. Not even at a place like this.
No. The bar's been set real high for me. I've seen too many people slip away. I just can't leave room for that, you know?
Sure, I do. There's a responsibility you carry on your shoulders. There's a narrow road that you have to follow because you know that people depend on you.
I see the aftermath on a daily basis.
And imagine.
Some of the histories of the kids I see at work are tragic.
Bruce's brow wrinkles up a bit before he quickly recomposes himself. Candace abruptly stops, realizing Bruce lived through his own childhood trauma.
I just feel like we're overmatched. There's so many fundamental things these kids need. We can only do so much.
But you're doing something, which I greatly respect.
Thanks. I'll take reinforcement wherever I can get it, which is so necessary during this merry old race.
Sure, you have to block out all of the chest thumping that goes on. Focus on your mission.
Well, it's a bit more than chest thumping. Hady's promising to make it harder for the kids and families that my organization tries to help.
I don't see safer streets as an obstacle. Maybe some of those people need to change.
Candace leans forward.
No, those people need a chance. How about jobs that pay a livable wage or affordable housing? I see people like Sebastian all the time. They want to take pictures with us, smile while they hand over a pittance of a check that they think will wash away all their sins.
Candace leans away.
But we have a serious crime problem in Gotham. We can't just ignore it.
There might be less crime with more opportunity. We can't just police all of our problems away. Some of these people are turning to crime out of desperation.
Sure, temptations vary, but we're still the masters of our own fate. These maladapted enterprises, drugs, guns, or worse, none of it helps.
Well, who's helping Sean? He used to hang out behind restaurants to beg for scraps at the end of the night just to eat and share with his little sister.
Sure, but others are career criminals that go way past survival. Like the old saying goes, if you'll steal, you'll kill. We can't just discard the rules when they're inconvenient.
That's just an oversimplification. No one's calling for the end of society as we know it. Well, I did have a volunteer that used to come around who was an avowed anarchist. But people are making wrong choices because the right opportunities aren't as plentiful as they should be. And someone should do something about that.
Bruce and Candace stare away from each other awkwardly while the festive environment continues around them.
Should I come back?
Interior, sewer, day. Clusters of people of all ages are gathered across the makeshift subterranean compound. Half-empty boxes of various stolen goods abound. Killer Croc walks past a group of kids and hands out some video games.
Hey,
Oh,
thanks.
thanks, Casey.
I told ya. He took down the Batman last night.
No way.
Shit, yeah. Dropped him like a stone in a pond. Did some ninja crap and snuck out before we could nab him.
Killer Croc walks by the sewer residents numbered 1 and 2. They follow him visually.
Damn, he is a killer.
Killer Croc hands out a pack of diapers to a resident with an infant.
Thanks, Casey.
No problem.
You got the Batman yesterday.
Almost, but we'll be alright. He can't handle us. I know he'll come back, but we'll be waiting on him.
Interior Batcave, night. A cowlless Batman / Bruce Wayne does research on his computer. An inquisitive Alfred walks up from behind.
He's not human.
Yvonne Drago.
No. He wasn't human, or not fully. More like a reptilian humanoid.
Alex Jones.
I hit him with everything. Nothing registered. He had scales, like a crocodile.
But he walked upright, spoke.
Yes. He is human, and I couldn't beat him, Alfred.
Nonsense, Master Wayne. Anyone can be beaten. Does he breathe?
Alfred shuffles something around where he's seated.
It may not be the most opportune time for me to ask, but how was Candace?
Bruce looks over at Alfred, visibly annoyed.
Not the time. Why so interested?
Let's just say Bruce Wayne needs someone to look out for his interests in the same fashion Batman does for everyone else.
That's why I have you, Alfred.
Alfred rolls his eyes.
I've known you your entire life, and I see that pervasive hole in your eyes every day. Punching crooks in the shadow of Gotham isn't enough. Never has been.
Bruce ignores Alfred.
Bruce, what happened with Candace?
I don't know. She's got a slightly different sense of Gotham than I do.
Eh? How so?
She thinks that circumstances make people criminal. I don't completely agree.
Alfred looks at the cowlless Batman contemptuously. Bruce returns the gaze for a bit, then looks away.
No. Have you forgotten the motivation of the common criminal? How desperation might eat away at the moral fiber of men trying to maintain a home or a future?
I understand enough to know that there's no good enough excuse to do the things that men do in this city. Heinous things, not just petty theft.
Sure, but the circumstances that drive people to that point, Bruce.
Based on my circumstances, I should be a monster.
Alfred looks intently at the cowlless Bruce Wayne.
Oh, but you are Master Wayne. You've become exactly what you are because of your circumstances, and you become a monster every night to prevent those circumstances from happening to every kid in this bloody city. I don't find it too much of a stretch to believe that Don Falcone's recruitment pitch may not ring so sweetly for the well-employed.
Bruce broods for a bit while continuing his research.
Alfred, have you ever heard of the biological concept of atavism?
No, sir. What is it?
In short, it's a genetic regression, like reverse evolution. It's extremely rare in humans, and there's one noted incident in Gotham.
Bruce continues to retrieve information on his terminal. He finds the file of Waylon Jones. Alfred looks along, wide-eyed. They find his file with photos online of his records, medical journals, foster care, juvenile records, and history, which includes a childhood murder of a fellow detainee.
My God, this is terrible.
Yes, it is.
Well, that explains his fortitude. What are you planning to do?
I don't know, Alfred. I've got to get him. He's got the skin of a crocodile that couldn't seem to hurt him.
Alfred steps away and begins to pace a bit.
You know, I've always enjoyed a good prize fight. My favorites were always the ones in which a heralded champion was pitted against a bigger, stronger challenger.
Alfred leans over Bruce and brings up a video clip of Ali versus Foreman.
When the greats are outmatched, they adapt. They devise a strategy against their opponent's weaknesses, no matter how marginal.
Alfred turns to face Bruce.
Of all that you know, every form of combat that you've trained, you are unrivaled. You're a master tactician. Surely you can defeat this beastly fellow.
I'll have to.
Bruce then retreats to another area within the Batcave. He sits and drops into meditation. The excerpts of the message given by Minister Percy Lewis replay in his mind. Cut 2. Interior, New Jerusalem Missionary Baptist Church, day. Flashback.
You see, when you operate in your purpose, 5 smooth stones become all that you need to take down that giant.
Congregation is responding charismatically.
And see, purpose stares the insurmountable in the face with transformative expectations. You see this thing that's in front of you? Guess what? It's bigger than you, and you know what else? Ask your neighbor, what?
Congregation obliges.
The thing that's in you is greater than the thing that's in front of you.
Bruce's eyes open. Cut 2. Interior, Batcave, Wayne Manor, night. Bruce, still in costume minus his cowl, heads to a kitchen to blend his elixir. 5 eggs, plus matcha green tea powder, plus goji berries and spinach, turmeric powder into a blender with ice and acai juice. Alfred walks in on him.
As much as I tout your adequacy, I do believe in rejuvenation, sir. Can't you take a full evening to recover?
I can't. I wouldn't sleep anyway.
They will be waiting on you this time.
I anticipated.
Exterior, Batman driving Batmobile on Gotham streets, night. Batman races out to return to the sewer location. He exits the Batmobile down the street from the entrance. A thick fog obscures much of the environment. The scene is unusually quiet. Too quiet. Scouts are positioned along the street posing as unaware transients. One appears to know the signal. A makeshift militia of armed men emerge from hidden positions to block the street. Batman uses his grapnel gun to get to a fire escape on the building high above ground.
Initiate riot control protocol.
The Batmobile accelerates up closer to the crowd and screeches to a halt. The gunmen point at the Batmobile and prepare to fire. The Batmobile then releases a barrage of rubber bullets. Pow, bang, zip, thud. The gunmen are undone by the non-lethal rounds. Batman drops back down to street level. The scouts scurry away. Inside the tunnel, Batman encounters more armed goons. He drops a flashbang grenade, temporarily blinding those in proximity. They howl in response. He throws firearm disablers into each visible gun. The aggressors break out melee weapons and charge at Batman. The first attacker wields a karambit in pick position. He drops to a low stance and swings a small blade with deadly finesse, quickly feinting his way for an opening. Batman blocks the attacks with the prongs of his gauntlets. The attacker follows with a switch roundhouse kick aimed for Batman's head. He sway ducks it and sidekicks the attacker's lateral knee, hyperextending it. The assailant drops and wails in agony. The next attacker rushes in with a pair of sticks. Batman defensively retreats. The attacker stops and tries to measure for a well-timed attack. He throws a spinning hook kick on Batman, and Batman expertly counters it with a spinning back leg sweep. Thud, he drops both sticks upon crashing to the ground. The next attacker charges Batman with a right lead. Batman counters with a high shoulder lock knee to the sternum combination. He bends over in pain, and Batman hurls him aside. Two more appear in the distance. He throws batarangs at both, knocking them out. Batman continues to trudge down the dark, damp sewer tunnels. He makes his way to the center of the makeshift compound. Boxes, mattresses, and TVs abound. Rustling is heard off screen. Batman uses his sonic device. A shirtless Killer Croc appears.
Waylon Jones! I know who you are. You don't have to do this.
Ain't nobody called me Waylon in forever. He was too scary. Now they call me Killer Croc.
Wait, the lasers, how did you get them?
Quit stalling and get these.
Croc rushes Batman. Batman backpedals and circles away. Croc throws a wild left hook at right cross. Batman deftly weaves under the first and slips the second. Batman bounces back and forth on the balls of his feet, staring stoically at Croc, anticipating the slightest twitch. He circles away, creating space. Croc pursues in a frenzy. He launches a wild overhand right at Batman, who calmly turns to move slightly outside the punch's trajectory and circles away again. Batman retreats behind some waist-high boxes. Croc kicks them out of his way. Batman retreats behind more material. Croc swats them away. Batman circles and retreats carefully. He ducks out of vision behind some boxes. Croc leaps over the obstruction as Batman drops a smoke bomb and evades. The underground community have gathered now to watch the conflict worriedly from a safe distance. Batman throws his grappling hook around Croc's waist. Croc yanks it and pulls Batman in towards him like a powered magnet. Batman slides underneath Croc's grasp just as he gets close. He kicks the back of Croc's legs, bringing him down to one knee. Croc swats backward at Batman and whiffs. Croc gets back to his feet, and Batman immediately drop kicks him over a stack of crates stationed behind his legs. A snarling Croc charges Batman. He throws a right hook. Batman weaves under. He throws a jab cross hook combination. Slip, slip, weave. Croc tries and tries to hit Batman, but to no avail. He throws punch after punch, whiffing on each one due to Batman's expert defensive maneuvering and anticipation. His punches have grown slower and weaker. He's noticeably mouth-breathing. From Batman's POV, we zoom in on Croc's right eye. Batman leaps into a 540-degree spinning hook kick, perfectly catching Batman leaps into a 540-degree spinning hook kick, perfectly to Croc's right eye. Croc immediately clutches his eye and staggers. Batman throws a parabola at Croc's legs to subdue him. Croc rests free. Batman moves in close, maintaining a cautious defensive posture. Croc launches a lazy right at Batman, who, in anticipation, flawlessly catches it into a judo throw, vaulting Croc over his shoulder and crashing to the ground. Batman jumps on top of the downed Croc, maintaining the grip on his right arm. Batman spins atop Croc's torso into an armbar. Croc struggles against his control. He reaches and grabs his right hand with his left. Batman kicks Croc's left arm away and contorts his right wrist with a subsequent lock. He then extends his arm for the lock and crack, hyperextends Croc's elbow.
Ah!
Batman back rolls to his feet and relents against Croc, breathing hard, adrenaline still pumping. The spectating residents, elderly, children, women, and men, have a tangible fear on their faces.
Where did you get the lasers?
Killer Croc sits up, breathing hard, eyes swollen, holding his arm, wincing in pain.
Ha! You think you the hero? You a damn joke. I'm the hero. Look around you. Ain't nobody care about these people.
Batman gazes up at the kids and elderly amongst the community watching from afar.
We, the nuisance? People up there don't even want to look at us, hoping we disappear. But I found a way for us to get by. Now you want to come take this away? Food, water, blankets, beds, clothes. I do for mine.
Batman stares. Croc continues breathing heavily.
What you do except poking around where you don't belong?
Waylon, I'm not here for that. Tell me where you got the lasers from.
Why? What you want us to do? This how we survive?
Including organ trafficking?
Huh? Nah, ain't nobody doing that. If they are, I don't know about it. Not like I ask everybody what they do out there every night.
Fine. Just tell me where the lasers come from. I'll see what I can do for the people here.
Really?
Croc hesitates momentarily, looks at the faces of the sewer dwellers as well.
I don't really know his name. He's always got this jacket on. It's got an A with a circle around it. That's all I know.
Interior, Wade Court boardroom, morning. An Excel-based graph is shown on a large monitor in the boardroom comparing the forecast of the Vietnamese acquisition target to the hypothetical Gotham equivalent.
As expected, this Gotham-based production unit exercise was a waste.
One that we all knew was coming. Maybe I'm a precog.
You're an ass, Jacob. Of course we know it's not as cost-effective. There are also numerous intangible benefits that go beyond the scope of this report.
Bruce checks his watch.
This is a for-profit enterprise, not a charity. We've always taken the course of action that best impacts our bottom line without question.
I think that the comparisons were fruitful, if not at least to understand our priorities.
Which are? Why have you allowed this utter nonsense to delay making a move? We can at least have a pre-call to Cactus.
Bruce checks his watch again.
Let's move forward. I'll inform the team to prepare.
Bruce exits the room.
If you'll excuse me.
What's his deal?
The board stares at each other awkwardly. Cut 2. Exterior, Gotham City streets, day. Bruce hustles downstairs to his car, which is ready for him at the valet with an illustrious floral arrangement. Bruce rushes into onward, upward, flowers in tow.
Candace, hi. Listen, sorry. I know I shouldn't be here.
Extends the flowers.
For you.
Candace looks at the bouquet and accepts.
Hello. What's up, Bruce? I was sure I scared you off at our brunch.
Scared? What? No, not at all. I hope I didn't overstate my perspective. But you mentioned there was a volunteer here that believed in anarchy?
Yeah. His name was Lonnie. Unfortunately, we can't afford to be terribly selective about our unpaid help. We get some different folks here. He was...
Lonnie. Do you remember his last name?
Sure. Machin. Why? You came down here with flowers to ask me this?
I'll explain. I think he's in danger.
Bruce rushes out. Interior, Gotham City PD, Gordon's office, day. Commissioner Gordon sits in his office. An officer gets out of a chair in front of his desk and exits. Thud. Tap, tap, tap. Gordon looks out his window and sees a batarang at the end of a string dangling against the glass with a document attached. Gordon opens the window, grabs the batarang, and pulls off the affixed note. It reads, Laser equals Lonnie Machin, 555 Anyplace Lane. Exterior, interior, Machin House, day. 2 uniformed officers park in front of an old Victorian. An old rocking chair sits on the front porch. Audible footsteps on the creaky wood staircase. The door is partly ajar. They tap on the door.
Hello, Gotham PD. Anyone home?
They walk in. They are addressed by Irene Machin, 75.
Oh, hello, officers. How can I help you?
Hi, miss. You are?
Irene Machin stands up out of her upholstered chair to greet the officers slowly.
Name's Irene. You guys looking for little Lonnie?
Photos on the wall on a small TV monitor sits atop an old tube television. Photos of a man in uniform abound in the cluttered living room, including one 8x12 of a color funeral program. Along with graduation pictures of Lonnie from Gotham U, a framed Purple Heart is among the myriad of family photos. Half-empty bottles of hard liquor are scattered throughout.
No, he's got his daddy's spirit. I was kind of hoping he'd follow in his footsteps, but I guess he serves in other ways.
Is he home? We'd like to speak with him.
Oh, it's hard to keep up with him. He's usually in the basement, tinkering around. After he came back from across the pond, his mother moved out there. He's been a bookworm. Still loves kung fu and stuff, though.
Maybe?
Sure, go right ahead. He's not in any kind of trouble, is he?
Not exactly.
The two officers open the basement door and proceed downstairs. The officers move cautiously. They see a space with a desk outfitted with 3 linked monitors, a few large desktop computers, 2 flanking work counters with odd machinery, and a makeshift chem lab.
Man, looks like you just skipped out. This guy is weird.
What the hell is all of this?
Officer number 2 walks over and looks to what looks like a large file cabinet in the far corner. He opens it and a gust of gas bursts out and he collapses. Officer 1 draws his gun and is ready to fire, looking for a perp. Hanging from a wood plank in the ceiling, Lonnie Machin, 27, descends upon the officer's head with a blunt metal object. Thud. Irene Machin is drifted asleep in her chair as a home video plays of a young Lonnie Machin receiving instruction on a hunting trip with his father. Lonnie Machin leaves the house dressed in a police uniform, unnoticed by his grandmother, Irene. Interior, exterior Gotham City streets in traffic day. Sebastian Hady heads to his car from his campaign office. Driving on his normal route, he notices a squad car in his driver's side mirror. Moments later, the car pulls behind him and hits the siren. The officer on the loudspeaker instructs him to keep driving and directs him to pull over under a city underpass. The area is desolate. The officer approaches his car.
Officer, in case you don't recognize me, I'm Sebastian Hady, the next mayor of Gotham. Can you tell me why I'm being stopped?
I need you to step out of the car, sir.
For what? I don't think you understand who I am or what you're doing. I have violated no traffic laws. My car is properly registered. You haven't even asked for my license.
I'm going to ask you once more.
Are you serious? Here, take a look at...
The police impersonator, Lonnie Machin, forcibly removes Sebastian from the vehicle onto the ground.
What the hell is your damn problem?
Lonnie cuffs him and removes his cell phone from his pocket.
What the hell are you doing, officer? Are you one of Falcone's guys?
I am the solve to your filth. You're a cancer. I'm the radiation.
Lonnie rains down on a knockout blow on Sebastian's shocked face like a hammer, smashed to black. Exterior, Gotham City streets, day. The stolen cop car is found in an empty parking lot by Gotham PD by a surveillance cam. Three police SUVs descend on the police car. The officers exit armed and ready for the worst.
Come out with your hands up!
Careful, our guys might be in there.
2 officers approach on either side, cautiously, with guns tactically held. They confirm that the car is empty. Boom! The car explodes, incapacitating the 2 close officers and disorienting the others. A masked Lonnie Machin walks up to distracted officers menacingly from behind. Using a modified bow staff, he smacks an officer on the passenger side of the SUV unit in the back of the head, out cold. He walks around the SUV and knocks the gun right out of the hand of the surprised officer and strikes him with both ends of the staff, knee then head, dropping him as well. The next 2 officers surround him on either side with guns drawn. Lonnie is positioned between the 2 vehicles. He drops his staff and places his hands up, appearing to comply. In a blink of an eye, he break falls to the floor unscathed and rolls under the SUV. One officer fires and misses Lonnie, only hitting the officer in the leg. The wounded officer drops to one knee, writhing in pain. Lonnie comes back to his feet on the driver's side of the second SUV. The officer circles the vehicle and winds up with his firearm pointed right to his head. The 2 have an intense but brief stare down.
Hands on your head, you mother...
Lonnie disarms the officer with lightning speed. The officer retreats and reaches for a taser at his waist. Lonnie rushes in and grabs the officer by the waist and slams him to the ground, finishing him off. Stomps him for good measure. The wounded officer misfires at Lonnie. Lonnie runs behind the SUV for cover. He picks up the first downed officer and uses him as a shield. A keyed-up officer shoots and hits the human shield in the shoulder. Lonnie grabs the wounded officer's taser and strikes the other officer. He stiffens and falls in a heap. Lonnie opens up the rear doors of one SUV and throws the beaten and shot officers in one by one. Exterior, Gotham PD rooftop, night. Commissioner Gordon stands atop the roof with the bat signal on. Batman arrives in typical fashion.
He's dangerous. The guys that went to his house are still missing. He set an ambush for our next unit and tracked the squad car he stole, took out 6 more guys. This and the lasers. We're not sure what he's doing or what his motives are.
He gave those lasers out. If he was interested in money, he could have sold them.
He's definitely peculiar. There isn't much info on him. More about his father, who
Committed suicide. The Gulf War vet with PTSD. His mother moved him to the UK. He's been living with his grandmother since he came back.
He explains the vet connection. What's his motive? What's he after?
I'm not sure yet. I have to find his connection to the organs.
He might just be a sick...
Batman has vanished.
I can't believe that still surprises me.
Intercut, onward, upward, Wayne Court, day. Candace streams a local news brief on her computer monitor.
A manhunt is underway for a man suspected in the disappearance of 6 Gotham police officers in the last 24 hours. Lonnie Machin is described as a 27-year-old Caucasian male between 5'6" and 6'5", weighing between 160 and 230 pounds. He is assumed to be armed and dangerous.
Candace rushes for her cell and dials Bruce, sitting in his office.
Bruce, what's going on? How did you know?
I ran into some people who implicated a guy that sounded like him.
What people? Implicated how?
I can't really say, Candace. Well, I might as well tell you. I was enlisted in association, legal association, with others that were on watch against the string of retail theft. I talked to some people who described someone who might have been Lonnie. Turns out they were correct.
Are you working with the police?
Yes.
So what?
Candace, I have to go now. I'm really sorry.
Candace looks aghast at the conclusion of the conversation. Interior, undisclosed location. An unmasked Lonnie Machin cranks away at a laptop. The webcam is covered with tape. Lonnie hacks into City Councilman Jerry Asato's work and personal email. He finds emails that reject proposals for affordable housing developments. Greater yet, he hacks into Jerry's personal financial records and discovers that the local tax funding for housing is being misappropriated. Funds are wired through an intermediary dummy real estate organization account, of which Jerry has transaction authority on. Lonnie smirks. Lonnie posts screenshots of each piece to multiple outlets anonymously, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and generates a bot to reproduce the material electronically under new ghost profiles every 60 seconds. Cut 2. Intercut various locations, day. We see Jerry and staff members working overtime to get the leak contained. We see news outlets reacting upon discovering the information internally. We see citizens react, seeing it online and on cell phones. We see leadership of the protest groups react to finding it on news feeds via cell and computer. Cut 2, undisclosed location, Lonnie shuts his laptop. Interior, Batcave, day. Alfred and Batman hover around the computer and its monitors.
Have you heard the police scanners? It appears that Hady is now missing.
Hady. It's got to be related.
Do you know how he looks?
He wears an anarchy symbol on his jacket.
Bruce continues to search for information on Lonnie in the computer.
Oh, an anarchist. Very well, then. His motivations aren't material. He wants social upheaval.
He may have convinced himself that his motivations are, but that isn't realistic. Everyone's got a catalyst. Between his father's absence or his mother's distance, I'm sure there's something else.
Poverty, a reflexive greed.
Right or wrong, he might feel disenfranchised, like a player in a rigged game.
Bruce retrieves some useful info online.
A Gotham U grad student.
He was an engineer. He didn't finish.
Cut 2, interior, Gotham PD, dusk. Gordon stands in front of a task force in a mid-sized briefing room.
Here's what we know. He's extremely dangerous. He's got candidate Hady, and he wears a mask and a jacket with a circle A on it. We've got 8 men down, 2 are in ICU, the other 6 are God knows where. He disabled the GPS on 2 of our vehicles. One's been blown to bits, so we know he has explosives and adepts at setting traps. We went back to his house, his grandmother's house. He's not there. She hasn't seen him. We haven't gotten a hit on his face either. We have to get this bastard. Don't say a word to the press about Hady either. Sweep every abandoned building, warehouse, tool shed, garage, whatever looks deserted. We gotta take him down ASAP.
Officers of various rank begin to file out.
And be careful out there. Lord knows what this whack job is capable of.
Interior, undisclosed location, night. A bound row of officers are seated on the floor with gags. Lonnie takes out a cell phone and begins recording his hostages.
How does it feel to be incarcerated? Your will subdued, your very existence dependent on someone else's subjective benevolence. Where is your misplaced pride now? You're the modern day vassal. You pledge your loyalty to uphold laws you don't make enforced upon people that you don't care about, for people that don't care for you. You're tools of the elite, serving the interests of those far beyond you while being undercompensated.
The captives look on derisively.
But I don't blame you entirely. You're mostly oblivious to your peonage, no?
Lonnie turns the phone's camera onto himself.
I will destroy your high places, cut down your altars, and cast your carcasses on the lifeless forms of your idols. And my soul shall abhor you.
The officers look at each other quizzically.
People of Gotham, wake up.
Lonnie becomes physically animated.
Our medicine is poison. Our food is laden with carcinogenic pesticides. Our gods are false. Your entertainment debased. Politicians bought and sold by the men behind the curtain.
Lonnie paces a bit.
For too long, we've underestimated ourselves.
Lonnie walks in front of the officers, making them visible to the camera's eye.
Take a look around. The tyranny of the idolaters is over. Peasants, we are no more. Each and every one of us is sovereign.
Lonnie walks back to his original spot.
I know there are more of you, just like me, weary of the hypocritical prophets, politicians, and professors. I invite you to join me. Throughout the city are no less than 6,000 masks, just like this one. Tonight, we take Gotham back.
Interior, Batcave, simultaneous. Cowless Batman and Alfred watch the end of Lonnie's stream.
Motive confirmed. He's an ideologue.
So are you agreeing with me?
To an extent. What else do we know about him? His father?
He had acute liver failure and was on the transplant list. Perhaps he grew weary of waiting or couldn't afford it.
He's chasing ghosts.
Maybe he is. We never stop trying to save the ones we lose.
Batman continues to type and search on the computer.
Okay, where is he?
Gordon's got units checking abandoned buildings, but they're about to have another problem to contain if this diatribe incites a riot.
Exterior, Gotham PD, rooftop, night. The bat signal is on. Batman arrives on scene. Commissioner Gordon is absent. Batman is alerted by the presence of Lonnie Machin facing away.
I'd always hoped we'd meet, albeit on different terms.
Batman stares intently.
Honestly, you were one of my greatest inspirations.
Then I failed you.
Entirely. You waged your crusade quite ineffectively, I must say, and I'm here to wage mine.
Batman flings a batarang with lightning quickness. It passes straight through Lonnie. A masked Lonnie turns around to face Batman.
Just like your entire adventure, futile. You attacked me, and I'm here to assist you.
Batman approaches Lonnie. He notices that Lonnie is a hologram. Batman looks around at surrounding buildings for him.
Have you ever done any gardening?
Where are you? Where are the hostages?
Didn't think so. The largest toil comes from controlling weeds. Some take the easy route and trim the visible sprouts. Problem is, they keep coming back. The more strenuous task is to pull them up from their roots, ensuring their termination. Aren't you tired of trimming the weeds, Batman?
Batman's eyes continue to dart around the horizon, looking for the real Lonnie.
The greatest injustices occur within legality, rules tailored for the oligarchs operating in the shadows. You don't seem to have a problem subverting the law for the law's sake, do you?
Batman still searches while keeping the image in view.
I know there's a weed puller in you. Otherwise, you'd be content to allow society's convention of law enforcement to do their jobs.
Spare me your platitudes. You're a criminal just like the rest.
Or perhaps like you, we both know that there's a greater law beyond what's scribbled in the books of men.
You have guys stealing organs. Why?
The question you should be asking is why the medical industry makes windfall profits on donated human commodities, or why pill mills even exist. We've taken more fentanyl and Percocet off the streets than you ever could.
The Pinnacle bomb. It was you.
Batman walks to the center of the hologram and sees a device on the floor. He picks it up.
Wrong move.
Batman turns the device over and sees a small explosive affixed. He quickly drops it and dives away. Kaboom! Exterior, Gotham City streets, day. Citizens take to the streets and convert to anarchists, grabbing masks as they find them. Parked cars are flipped over, storefront windows shatter. A cacophony of sirens, alarms, fires, yelling, screaming, chanting, breaking, crashing, and burning. Killer Croc and community watch the news coverage on their TVs in the sewer. Rioters are fighting police, losing mostly, but overwhelming some with sheer numbers. We see a helicopter news cam cover a pair of female cops who are pinned down in an alley by a large group. They've radioed for help, but it won't arrive on time. They've run out of ammo and are down to tasers and nightsticks. Killer Croc emerges from a manhole cover and beats the crowd back single-handedly, saving the two officers. Cut 2. Interior, Batcave, day. Batman and Alfred stand in front of the computer monitors.
Where can he be?
He believes himself.
Oh, why wouldn't he?
He thinks he's solving a problem. His video criticized the police, which he has hostage. He derided politics. He's got Hady. Alfred.
Yes, Master Wayne.
He's in a church.
Last sacred pillar of his speech.
I think so. The Pinnacle bombing, the organ theft were attacks on medicine. He encouraged theft with the lasers he gave out to the homeless.
An attack on materialism.
Right. It's what's left.
What about his line about pesticides in the food supply?
Nothing in Gotham is symbolic enough for him. A house of worship, a formal institution that delivers ideas, that's what he's after. It's a visceral. He needs to see it fall.
I do hope you're right, sir. But which house of worship?
He's pretentiously academic. He's out for glory, and he quoted the Bible. He's in a cathedral.
Hail Mary it is.
Not to worry. I know he's going to reject me.
Batman puts his cowl on. Exterior, Gotham City streets, night. Batman drives the Batcycle through traffic towards the Gotham Cathedral. He stops in front of the Gotham Cathedral. Batman bursts open the doors. He quickly searches the first floor and concludes that no one is there. After returning outside, he's met with a group of hostiles trying to steal the Batcycle. They stop and stare at him. Batman approaches, ready for a certain skirmish. He pulls in the first with his bat rope and a front kick to the sternum, folding him like paper. The two rush Batman with sticks and knives. Batman darts back to evade the swing of the stick. He parries the ensuing knife swipe while stepping inside and counters with a back fist and a front sweep. Immediately, Batman strikes the stick carrier with a turn-back kick, sending him flying. The remaining two run away. Batman remounts the Batcycle and connects with Alfred. Intercut. Gotham City streets, Batcave, continuous.
He wasn't there.
Are we sticking to the church theory?
Yep. I'm going to check the new parish cathedral. It makes more sense.
It just so happens that very little of today's activity is in that area. I'll chart a course for you.
Thanks.
We see a routed map on the Batcycle's GPS display. Batman accelerates to the second destination. Interior, new parish cathedral, dawn. Hostages have become anxious, most notably Sebastian Hady. A clergyman and custodian are now among the captured.
Excuse me, sir. May I have a word?
Lonnie whirls his head around.
A word. I believe you had several. Is there something I can do for you?
Sebastian motions for Lonnie to come close. Lonnie removes Sebastian's gag.
Young man, if there's one thing that I know, there's got to be something that you need, something you want. Let me help you.
Lonnie looks on while lowering his ear to Sebastian.
What's your name?
My name? My name isn't important. I'm more than an individual. I'm a movement. The anarchy to your perilous existence.
Listen, Mr. Anarchy, A couple of phone calls and I can put substantial resources at your disposal. Cash resources.
Really? How much can you get? How quickly?
Whatever you want. I can get it together by noon. I just need to get out of here.
You would do that for me? What about the officers? Are you okay with them staying put?
Do what you have to do. I can help you if you help me.
The officers look on enraged as the room is quiet enough to hear Sebastian's attempt at being discreet.
Whatever? No paramilitary friends of yours to exact revenge upon my head?
No. No one even has to know who you are, or that this even happened. I can't remember what you look like.
The officers exchange disgusted and disappointed glances.
That's a nice offer, but you can't buy your way out of this one.
Lonnie gives Sebastian a hard punch to the gut. Cut 2. Exterior, Batman driving the Batcycle in Gotham streets, dawn. Batman races and makes tight turns around Gotham on his way to the new parish. Fires and first responder vehicles are visible on side streets. Gotham is in utter chaos. Batman reaches the block where New Parish is located. The street is empty and a thick early morning fog rests about. As he gets close, the Batcycle detects several armed hostiles obscured in position for an ambush.
Release the inoculant.
On the compartment in the rear of the vehicle, a small primer black steel ball ejects and proceeds toward the location of each hostile. The ball, about the size of an 8-ball, races toward the vicinity of each and releases a small green gel, one by one, virtually undetected. As it gets in the clear, Batman presses a button on his cycle's display, and boom! A flashbang goes off simultaneously near each hostile and disorients them. Batman arrives at New Parish. He scales up the side of the massive structure with his grappling hook. He finds a stained glass window. He swings foot first into it and crashes through, landing in the center of the church between rows of pews. The vast church is opulently arrayed and vibrantly colored with stained glass windows, long flowing banners, polished brass atop the vestment tables, and a quartz cross inlaid in the raised pulpit's podium. Emerging from behind the choir stand is a brash Lonnie Machin.
Don't get excited. He's not here to save you.
Lonnie pushes his captives into a large baptismal pool. A few fall completely in, a drowning risk with bound hands. They struggle to get their heads out of the shallow water, but manage to assist one another while being bound.
Let them go.
The champion of justice. You know, for as much trouble as you go through, you might want to consider who's the cause of all this and who's really on your side.
Batman walks up to confront Lonnie. Lonnie backpedals to maintain distance.
You're not the solution. You'll only further their preconceptions.
I'm not out to change minds anymore. I have what you lack, the clarity to fight the foundations of evil, not just their symptoms.
You don't even understand what you believe. You're just another authoritarian.
Lonnie looks up and points up to the giant iconography. A large crucifixion statue hangs from the ceiling behind Lonnie, along with a mural of aura-glowing angels and biblical figures.
No larger contributor to the ills of civilization than the belief that some benevolent consciousness exists, picking winners and losers based on anachronistic rule sets. No more deities, no more oracles, no more sacred rites.
Lonnie and Batman transition to combat stances.
But alas, there's one work I must replicate, the Great Flood.
Batman looks on, confused.
I've redirected all of Gotham's water supply to come here, a fitting judgment for this Babylon.
Batman leaps into a flying punch. Lonnie sidesteps to his left and pulls his modified staff out. He steps around a long row of pews for separation. Batman follows in a purposeful walk.
I am the solution. You can don those pajamas for 1,000 lifetimes. There will always be injustice in this city.
Because of your actions, people will die.
Necessary pruning. I'm doing what you won't do. What you couldn't be honest about doing.
Batman throws a bat shuriken at Lonnie. Lonnie deflects it with his staff.
Predictable.
Cut 2. Interior, Candace's apartment. Candace and Mira gather with coffee in front of the news coverage of the rioting.
This is nuts. Do you think anybody you know is out there? I mean, aside from this masked guy?
I hope not. This is just too crazy to me. And they haven't found him yet.
If I were him, with all these dummies that he got to dress like him, I'd just slip right out of town.
There's probably perimeter around the city. And I'm not sure he's finished yet.
Wait, didn't you tell me that Bruce Wayne was asking you about him?
Yeah, he was.
That's odd, isn't it?
I guess. He told me why and how, but it seemed like he was doing police work.
Mira rolls her eyes at Candace while they continue to sip coffee and watch the news. Candace dials Bruce. No answer. Cut 2. Exterior Gotham City streets, day. The fight for Gotham continues with a horde of rioters in Gotham PD. Croc is continuing to fend off rioters, protecting the female officers. The police backup arrives and begins to take out rioters by force, equipped with full riot gear. The fight spills all over the street and the cops' formation has been broken. Croc is manhandling all comers, still protecting the 2 outgunned female officers. One overzealous cop blasts Croc in the chest with a shotgun. Croc falls to the ground.
No, not this one!
The battle continues while Croc holds his pained torso. He rolls around on the ground and disappears into the crowd of battle. Cut 2. Interior, New Parish Cathedral, day. Batman uses his sonic device. No effect.
Predictable.
Batman throws a smoke bomb at Lonnie's feet. The area surrounding the 2 fills with smoke. Batman closes the gap on Lonnie. Lonnie, with his staff, tries to sweep Batman's front leg. Batman lifts his leg just in time, and Lonnie swings to the other side of the staff at Batman's head, skillfully checked. Lonnie spins back and creates more space. Lonnie uses his staff to shoot an electric charge at Batman. Batman takes the brunt of it on his gauntlets, forcing him to drop to a knee and frying off the hooks and fraying the gloves. Lonnie gears up for another blast. Batman throws a flashbang at Lonnie. Lonnie shoots another blast without a clear target. It misses, but makes visible damage on the wall where it struck. Batman closes the gap, too close for Lonnie to fire his electrical blast. Batman takes a half step forward and Lonnie swings like a batter. Batman jerks back and just evades it. Batman continues to press forward on the retreating Lonnie. Lonnie spins the stick and moves sideways. He bursts into a low-high stick combination, blocked again. He doubles it and goes back with a low strike, landing this time on Batman's thigh. Batman grabs Lonnie's jacket. Lonnie spins out of it and comes off in Batman's clutches. Lonnie jams the staff into Batman's midsection with a spin. Lonnie is shirtless and ripped. Batman charges and lunges a vicious axe kick. Lonnie raises his staff to block, but Batman breaks right through it, knocking him down. Lonnie quickly rolls over and springs to his feet with now 2 smaller sticks from the broken bow staff. Lonnie smirks at Batman.
Yeah!
Lonnie charges and uses the sticks in lightning-fast combinations. Batman evades several. He gets hit on the ribs, the thigh, and then the side of the head, and has a dizzy moment. Lonnie, with no hesitation, kicks Batman down to the ground. Batman gets up quickly. Lonnie's on the attack. He first feints at Lonnie, baiting him to a swing. Lonnie almost bites. He feints harder, and Lonnie swings his rear handstick. Batman executes a perfectly timed inside block that splinters the stick. With little time in between, he steps forward and throws a spinning hook kick and knocks Lonnie's mask completely off, and he falls back into the pews. Cut 2. Interior, sewer, day. Killer Croc stumbles through the sewer, having retreated from the skirmish topside. He clutches his torso and leans on the wall to walk. Suddenly, he hears a whooshing sound overhead. A flood is coming. He begins to sprint toward the sewer enclave. Cut 2. Interior, New Parish Cathedral, day. Lonnie rolls off the pew back into open space. Batman intelligently pursues. Lonnie drops into his fight stance. The 2 line up and face each other, looking for a telegraph moment or a possible opening for an attack. Lonnie throws a low kick at Batman's front leg. Checked. The 2 maintain poise and posture, intensity on both faces. Lonnie fakes a low kick and turns into a sweep of Batman's rear leg. Batman takes a fall. Lonnie pounces on the ground at Batman and rains down with a flurry of blows. Batman hugs Lonnie tight to prevent unnecessary space to throw punches. He then bridges up and rolls Lonnie over onto his back. Before Batman can capitalize with strikes of his own, Lonnie pushes Batman's legs away and escapes. Both get back to their feet. Lonnie throws a jab, Batman parries it. Lonnie throws another jab, Batman parries it and throws his own jab, which Lonnie then parries. Batman throws another jab, Lonnie parries and returns, Batman parries and returns, Lonnie parries. Batman throws a cross, which Lonnie counters with a knee to the gut. Batman stumbles back. Batman throws a spinning hook kick. Lonnie darts backward and away. Lonnie throws a roundhouse kick at Batman's midsection. Batman catches the kick and returns a cross and busts Lonnie's nose. Lonnie staggers back and rubs the blood away from his upper lip. Lonnie, wincing and grimacing, rushes Batman, fakes a jab, and goes for a double leg takedown.
Yeah.
The two go tumbling to the ground with Lonnie landing on top. Lonnie lands a downward punch on Batman's cheek, the other right on his face. The two grunt and grimace. Batman slips Lonnie a right and grabs holds into a kimura, a painful shoulder lock. Lonnie rolls out of it. Both get back to their feet again. They stare at each other. Lonnie presses with a barrage of punches. Batman pivots away, slipping and blocking most. He throws a jab cross, liver hook, low kick combo, breaking Lonnie down and inflicting pain. Lonnie steps back and retreats to a row of pews. Batman pursues. Lonnie jumps over a pew. Batman does the same, facing him down. Lonnie drops and rolls under the pews. Batman loses sight of him. Cut 2. Interior, sewer, day. Killer Croc sprints into the main area in a frenzy.
Y'all gotta get out of here.
The people look confused.
Now this place is about to get flooded.
The group scrambles out, grabbing whatever they can as they make for the topside escape. The water sound gets louder as whoosh, a burst of water rages through the tunnels and reaches the compound. The group races out. Stolen goods get washed away. Croc notices a small kid paralyzed in fear at the opposite end of the room. He races to grab him, but the water sweeps both of them up in the current. Cut 2. Interior, New Parish Cathedral, day. Batman searches for Lonnie hurriedly under the pews. Lonnie pops up, surprisingly, and tries to stab Batman in the back with the broken end of his staff. Batman intercepts and grabs his wrist in the struggle. The two fall to the ground. Shoop! Lonnie jabs the sharp end into Batman's shoulder as they land. Batman pushes Lonnie's face aggressively, contorting his neck. Lonnie jumps away and scrambles to his feet. Batman struggles to his feet and wiggles his arm to pull the stick out of his left front deltoid. Lonnie steps forward with a low roundhouse kick, and Batman counters with a jumping, spinning hook kick. Lonnie falls to the ground in a heap. Creaking and popping sounds are heard throughout the church. Hostages look around to decipher what's happening. Whoosh! Water begins to flood the building like a tidal wave. Batman looks towards the captives at the back of the church. He sprints towards them. He gets to the first captive and tears away at his wrist bonds feverishly with a bat shuriken. Before he can finish, crack! Lonnie smacks Batman across the back with a remnant of his staff. Batman staggers. Lonnie leaps on his back and positions his arm around Batman's neck for a choke. The water is up to the captive's knees. The officers wiggle and squirm to get out. Batman continues to resist the rear choke by Lonnie. The water is up to the captive's shoulders. The water quickly rises within centimeters of their noses. Batman crashes through the chain double doors with Lonnie still draped on his back. Water gushes out with him. The spectators, plenty outside, Batman and an unmasked Lonnie pound it out as they get to their feet. Batman pushes them back into a street lamp, and unleashes a bevy of devastating punches. Lonnie starts to fade. Batman, in a rage, grabs Lonnie behind the neck and punches the living daylights out of him. Lonnie is losing consciousness, bleeding from mouth to nose from Batman's fists. Batman, in a moment of clarity, looks up at the crowd and realizes Lonnie is done and the fight is over. He lets him go and he falls to the floor. Batman stumbles away while the crowd watches. Police arrive and arrest the incoherent, bloody Lonnie Machin. They watch Batman walk away in the still early hours of the morning. The cops take their eyes off of Batman and place Lonnie in the back of the patrol car. Batman turns the corner, seemingly disappearing from sight. Interior, sewer, day. Batman walks through the sewer. He heads to the area where the homeless community was. The sewer is noticeably wetter than usual. Batman sees debris from the residents' cache and of boosted goods. His pace quickens. Wayland! Wayland! Batman begins to sprint as the main area is a post-flood mess. Wayland! He comes upon Wayland sitting against the wall with a small child cradled in his arms. Wayland rocks back and forth, downward gaze, looking very somber.
Is she breathing?
I don't think so.
Killer Croc hands the child over to Batman. Batman frantically lays the child down and checks. No breath. Batman begins chest compressions. Nothing. More chest compressions. Nothing. More chest compressions. More urgency and anxiety. Nothing.
Please, kid, wake up.
The child begins to cough and opens her eyes. Killer Croc rushes in and hugs the child.
Oh my God, I thought you was gone.
Batman stands up.
I will talk to some friends. We will do something. For all of you.
Killer Croc and the kid look up at Batman. Batman turns and walks off. Interior, Wayne Manor, day. Battle-weary Bruce Wayne takes a shower while Terrence Blanchard's Innocence is played throughout Bruce's multi-room speaker system. Alfred watches the news in the kitchen on his laptop.
Gotham PD are reporting that the suspect wanted in regard to the disappearance of several police officers has been apprehended and is in custody. We have...
A toweled Bruce exits the shower and stares out of his bedroom window, contemplatively at an overcast horizon. He turns and stares at an old family photo from his childhood. Alfred continues to watch the coverage. We see a faint news helicopter footage of Killer Croc's earlier heroics and Alfred's surprised reaction. Bruce passes by and heads to the kitchen. Alfred looks at him momentarily, not saying anything. Bruce sits and grabs a folder with documents at the table.
Well?
Bruce looks up at Alfred. Silence. Bruce begins to write feverishly on the papers.
Master Bruce.
Interior, Hady's office, night. Poll results are in and Hady wins the mayoral race. Confetti, balloons, and champagne bottles are being popped. Laughter and cheer abound.
Can I propose a toast? Of course I can. I'm the mayor of Gotham.
Laughter and boisterousness increase.
No, seriously. This is truly a great feeling. We can't wait to begin turning this city around. After the events of the last several days, I am utterly convinced that my mission is of grave necessity.
An unknown figure approaches him with a cell phone.
Pardon me?
Sebastian turns and steps away from this crowd.
Take care of it. Can't you reassign them? Do your job. That's all I'm saying. Now, if you'll allow me to do mine. Where was I?
Interior, exterior, Wayne Corp lobby. Candace drives to Wayne Corp. She approaches the well-dressed guard in the lobby.
Hello.
How can I help you?
Yes, I don't have an appointment, and this is probably going to seem ill-advised, but I'm here to see Bruce Wayne.
Are you from the press?
No,
Can I ask what this is in regard to?
it's a personal matter.
The guard looks at his counterpart with a smirk.
What's your name? He doesn't see anyone's not on the schedule usually.
Maybe he'll make an exception for me?
I'll see. 1 second.
Candace steps away. The guard calls up to Bruce's floor.
Miss Collins?
Candace walks back to the desk.
Yes.
He's coming down now. Can I ask you to wait over there?
He steps around the counter and directs her to a waiting area across the large floor.
That Bruce Wayne. Man.
Yeah, I wonder, what am I doing wrong?
Candace looks over her shoulder as she overhears the chatter, rolls her eyes. Bruce comes down off the elevator. He spots her and they step into a private room. Interior, Wayne Corp private room. Continuous.
How did you know? Why did all of this happen after I talked to you?
Candace, I've been working with Gotham PD, and the good news is they got him. Thanks.
You go seemingly out of your way to get my attention, and against my intuition, here I am. You're a different person each time I see you. What are you hiding?
I'm evolving. Like you, I want to be who I am. I mean, the best version of me at all times. I'm trying to add what's missing.
What's missing? Me? That's a big ask. You'd be asking me to stand by you as you grow into the man you want to be, when really, if this is going to go anywhere, I need you to be the man, that man right now.
Maybe I am. Maybe I just need a chance.
Maybe. But I'm not sure I'm the one who can give it to you. Bruce, I think this is great, but I'm not ready. Not until I can know who you really are.
Candace stands from her chair. Bruce follows suit. Cut to interior Wayne Corp, Bruce's office, same day. Bruce stands at his window, staring out contemplatively. He walks back to his chair, sits, and dials his admin.
Hi. Let's set up a press conference in the main conference room. Don't worry about too much tech. We probably won't be using it. Thanks.
Bruce looks at his watch. Interior, Wayne Corp conference room, day. The Wayne Corp board are all gathered along with a press of several varieties, TV, web, print. Whispers of the anticipated acquisition pass amongst the attendees.
Thank you for coming. I do hope that you find this beneficial, if not at least newsworthy.
Crowd chuckles and photographers snap photos.
A few weeks ago, we at Wayne Corp were examining some options that we thought could improve our business on an efficiency front and as a whole. Well, that's what we do all the time.
Chuckles from the crowd and board.
After some deliberation, and considerably much more privately, we've come to announce that...
Bruce hesitates. He looks at his board, who looks back at him.
I actually have two announcements, so if you're in a hurry, I'll understand.
More laughter.
First, let me say just a few words. Recently I found myself enlightened by a number of things. Things in Gotham. And not just the spate of violence that's racked our city, but broader themes that a few great people have made clearer.
Looks become very puzzled in the room, especially the board.
I am a son of Gotham. This is my city. Here I am as the CEO of an expansive company bearing my surname. The question I ask myself is, am I fighting for Gotham?
Bruce looks back at the board.
In some ways, yes, I truly am. But is there more, something greater? We've just elected a new mayor. Mayor Hady, congratulations. May your appointment signal a new era in Gotham.
Onlookers grow increasingly bewildered.
While he's taking the reins, I had to acknowledge, as a private citizen, that I too am encumbered with a responsibility, a burden to effect change. And that is why, contrary to what was originally the determined course of action,
Bruce looks back toward his board again. Members whisper to another, expressing confusion.
Wayne Corp will commence a new production facility right here in Gotham, in the North End.
Mixed eruption of applause, confusion, and disgust ensues.
Focused on building components for alternatives products. Construction will commence late next quarter. We will be looking to hire 5,000 to 10,000 employees, locally.
Amelia Cortez smirks at Jacob. Donovan nearly lunges out of his seat, and Jacob has to forcefully keep him composed and seated.
Secondly, and this is much more personal, believe it or not,
More laughter.
I'm expanding the Thomas and Martha Wayne Foundation. This one's on me, Donovan.
Somewhat cautious, tepid applause.
We'll have a construction project of our own, a multi-family residential complex with a special consideration for our veterans.
Applause grows.
That will be low to no cost for residents.
Mr. Wayne,
Mr. Wayne.
I'll take questions at another time. Thank you for coming.
Bruce exits. Applause continues. An enraged Donovan walks up alongside the exiting Bruce and grabs his arm.
what the hell is this? Run your foundation how you damn well please, but don't bankrupt the company on your personal crusade.
Thanks for your support, Donovan.
Bruce hurries towards the exit. Donovan and Jacob continue to quarrel and bicker. Interior, hotel day. Bruce Wayne walks up to the front desk. He's greeted by a female hotel concierge, 23.
Wow, are you Bruce Wayne? I'm sorry.
In the flesh?
What can I do for you, Mr. Wayne? Interested in a suite?
Not quite. I was looking for something a bit more comprehensive.
Comprehensive?
Yeah.
Bruce leans in a bit on the counter.
What kind of deals do you have on floors?
Floors? Let me see.
Floors or rooms. As many rooms as possible, with unlimited room service.
So, how many days?
Bruce grins at the clerk. Bruce manages to disappear. Interior, hotel, moments later. Alfred stands outside and leads a cadre of former sewer residents into the hotel up to their rooms. They proceed upstairs with glee. Each arrives at the room with full meals awaiting them. Jaws drop in exuberant disbelief. Tears of joy flow. Interior, Batcave, night. Bruce Wayne performs a spectacular kata on a hardwood training floor within the Batcave. 10 to 30 second sequence. Alfred walks in.
You've done it this time.
Bruce stops, sweating a bit, breathing heavier than normal.
What?
I've always believed in preventative medicine. Perhaps now Bruce Wayne will rival Batman's efforts in eviscerating crime in this town.
You should have seen their faces, before and after.
I saw the faces of the benefactors. That was a first-rate experience.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
The two share a chuckle.
You realize the repercussions.
A virtuous cycle? Wayne Corp will survive.
It will. But there will be some terribly upset. New enemies, I'm afraid.
Cut 2. Intercut. Hady's office. Undisclosed location. Night. Hady sees the Bruce Wayne news headline. Pounds his desk. Picks up the phone. A mysterious, sinister figure answers. Cut 2. Interior. Sewer. Night. Killer Croc sets up the TV and watches a replay of Bruce's conference on the news. He smiles just slightly. Cut 2. Interior Batcave.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Bruce walks into the next room. He suits up.
When they come, I'll be ready.
End. Fade to black.